foresight for which his family were noted, given to his only son the name of Hugh Mainwaring, confident that his American-English cousin would never marry, and hoping thereby to win back the old Mainwaring estate into his own line of the family. His bit of strategy had succeeded, and now, after more than 20 years, his foresight and worldly wisdom were about to be rewarded. For the occasion of this reunion between the long-separated cousins was the celebration of the rapidly approaching 50th birthday of Hugh Mainwaring, at which time Hugh Mainwaring, Jr. would attain his majority, and in recognition of that happy event, the New York millionaire broker had announced his intention of making his will in favor of his namesake, and on that day formally declaring him his lawful heir. This had been the object of the conference in the private office of Hugh Mainwaring, and now that it was over and all necessary arrangements had been made, that gentleman turned from his desk with a sigh of relief. "I am heartily glad that this business is over," he said, addressing his guests. "It has been on my mind for some time, and I have consulted with Mr. Whitney about it," with a slight nod towards the fourth gentleman, who was his attorney and legal adviser. "We have both felt that it should have been attended to before this, and yet, as I consider this would be the most fitting time to make a final adjustment of affairs, I have on that account delayed longer than I otherwise would have done. Now everything is arranged in a manner satisfactory, I trust, to all parties immediately concerned, and nothing remains but to draw up and execute the papers, which will be done tomorrow." "You are not then troubled with any unpleasant superstitions regarding the making of a will?" commented Mr. Thornton. "No," replied the other slowly. "I am not of the opinion that it will hasten my exit from this world, but even if it did, I would have the satisfaction of knowing that my own wishes would be carried out in the settlement of my estate, that no one would derive any benefit from my demise excepting those whom I consider legally entitled thereto." Ralph Mainwaring looked curiously at his cousin through half-closed eyes. "I suppose," he remarked very deliberately, "that even in the case that there were no will, the property would revert to our branch of the family. We are the nearest of kin, you know." "Yes, I know your family would be considered the lawful heirs," Hugh Mainwaring replied, while he and Mr. Whitney exchanged glances. "But this is not England. Here any common adventurer might come forward with some pretended claim against the estate, and I prefer to see affairs definitely settled in my own way." "Of course," responded the other, resuming his cigar. "Well, speaking for myself, I am more than willing to relinquish any share I might have had for the boy's sake, and I don't suppose, Thornton, that you have any objections to raise on Edith's account." "Oh, no," replied that gentleman, with a pleasant laugh. "I never considered Hugh a bad son-in-law to begin with, but I'll admit he is a little more attractive now than ever." The little clock on the marble mantel chimed the hour of 4, causing a general movement of surprise. "'Pon my soul, I had no idea it was that late," exclaimed Mr. Thornton, taking out his watch, while Hugh Mainwaring, touching an electric button, replied, "This business has detained us much longer than I anticipated. I will give some instructions to the head clerk, and we will leave at once." He had scarcely finished speaking when a door opened noiselessly, and a middle-aged man appeared. "Parsons," said Mr. Mainwaring, addressing him in quick, incisive tones, "I am going out to Fair Oaks, and probably shall not be at the office for 2 or 3 days, unless something of unusual importance should demand my presence. Refer all business callers to Mr. Elliot or Mr. Chittenden. Any personal calls, if specially important, just say that I can be found at Fair Oaks." Parsons bowed gravely, and after a few further instructions retired. "Now, Mr. Whitney," Hugh Mainwaring continued, at the same time touching another electric button, "you, of course, will be one of our party at Fair Oaks. My secretary will accompany us, and the papers will be drawn up tomorrow in my private library, after which you will do us the honor to join us in the pleasures of the following day." "I am at your service, Mr. Mainwaring," responded the attorney. "But," he added in low tones, intended only for Hugh Mainwaring's ear, but which were heard distinctly by the private secretary, now standing beside the desk, "would it not be better to draw up the will here in your private office? My presence at the house on the present occasion might attract attention and arouse some suspicions as to your intentions." "That makes no difference," replied Hugh Mainwaring quickly, but also speaking in a low tone. "My private papers are all at the house, and I choose that this business shall be conducted there. I believe that I am master in my own house yet." Mr. Whitney bowed in acquiescence, and Hugh Mainwaring turned to his secretary. "Mr. Scott, just close up everything in the office as quickly as possible, and get ready to accompany me to Fair Oaks. I shall need you there."